Hello everyone, my name's Caroline Hunt and I'm the Managing Director of Emerald Starfish. This is a short video to talk to you about your company reviews and how to manage them effectively, particularly and how important they are in terms of your recruitment. So I just want to share the screen to start with. Let me just pull this up. Right, okay, that's great. So just get to the right point. Okay, so we want to look at why the reviews are important, how to manage them, and how to also get more positive reviews. So what do I mean by reviews? So what I'm looking at really here is the difference between Google and Indeed and Glassdoor. So Google reviews are very much kind of your customers going online and saying, that's great service, great product, whatever it is you do. Glassdoor and Indeed reviews are linked into your employer branding, and it's not about the product or the service that you provide, but about what it's like to work with your organization. So it's about the working environment, it's about the culture, the values that you display as an organization. The reason these are really important is that particularly Gen Y and Gen Z, they want to see referrals and recommendations for a role or for a company that they're going to work for. There's a culture around things like Airbnb, TripAdvisor, Google reviews, and those generations in particular are really trusting of reviews and want to see what's being said about your company. In terms of our business, we see customers state and cite company reviews on a daily basis at interviews. So it's a really important area to consider. And it's really important that you're looking at these and managing them proactively as well. So in terms of the different types of categories, it's a star system basically, and they're slightly different for each one. For Glassdoor, candidates are allowed to assess you on the career opportunities you offer, compensation and benefits, the culture and the values, senior management, work-life balance, and diversity and inclusion. Indeed, kind of mirror these, but there's a little bit different. So they look at job security and advancement, pay and benefits, culture, management, and the work-life balance. And each section gets an overall rating, and then you can choose a rating for each area, and then it gives an overall review. So I did some training last week, and the average company review is 3.6 in the UK. And I think it's really important to think about how you manage your reviews. So if somebody took the effort to write to your company and either praise you or criticize something that you'd done, whether it was a product that was faulty or a service that they'd received which wasn't quite up to standard, or equally if it was something that they'd done really well, you would respond. It would be the polite thing to do. Somebody has taken the time to make the comment, you would respond. And I think it's really important that you think about this as well when you're online, and that you should be responding to your reviews, whether they are positive or negative. If you've got a good review, you should thank them and acknowledge them. And if it's a bad review, you need to think about how you respond. Another really important area to remember is that a candidate writes a review, you respond to that review, and then that is the end of the conversation. There's no ability for them to go back in and respond to your answer. It's not going to become a kind of an online slanging match. So I think it's a really important thing to realise when you look at this. So another thing to be aware of is that, don't make your responses too short. Things like, I'm sorry that you feel that way, for example, across a whole range of responses, is not really responding properly. Do take time to address some of the major points within that, diffuse the heat from the situation, and explain what you're doing in terms of going forward. So the responses should be specific and personal. They should have some level of detail that is specific. And it's really important to make sure the feedback isn't taken personally. So if there is an inflammatory review, write your response and then leave it for overnight before actually posting it. Another great thing to be able to do is use ChatGPT, put the review within ChatGPT and ask in terms of the sorts of things that should be covered within that. Use the AI tools available to help with that. So what you don't want is for all your company reviews to be from ex-employees who are disgruntled and have left the organisation. And therefore, it's really important to think about a plan to get more positive responses. So here are some ideas. So first of all, speak to good leavers. You know, there are people that leave an organisation having got all that they can from the organisation, are ready to move on for the next position, and ask them to write you a review. And then I would also run a company scheme. So get your current workforce to frame it. So you want the best people to come and work for your company, and therefore you're wanting people within the existing team to tell them what it's like to work there. I wouldn't try and put words into people's mouths. I think that can come back to bite you, but I think it's really important to frame it in such a way as, you know, you work here, we think it's a great place to work. Can you put a few words together to show that? And think about kind of the positive side. So, you know, kind of what things are there that you do and you can show that will make people want to work for you. So why is this important? It's really important because it will help you to attract a better quality of candidate. Candidates are being discerning and they are reading company reviews. And what you're wanting to do is to show that you're a great organisation to work for. There is a shortage of workers within the workforce at the moment. And therefore, if you've got a great candidate who's choosing between two companies, you want there to be reviews out there that are going to really enhance their thoughts about your company and make them want to come and work for you. And it's also about building your employer branding. You know, what is it like to work here? Why is it such a great place? It's a longer term strategy, but it's so important at the moment, and it's not going to just disappear at all with the generations that are coming through. It also helps you to address issues as well. You know, are there things that are coming across as a consistent theme and you can look at and address on a wider basis, and then use that to shout about and say what things you're doing to make these things better. So that's everything that I want to cover off today. So I hope that's been helpful. The most important thing really is to start engaging, make sure you've got your Indeed and Glassdoor pages and are responding to reviews that are out there and working towards getting some more positive reviews. If you'd like to have an hour with me, I'd be very welcome to do that. You can book a strategy session with myself, which lasts for an hour. We can look at all different things. At the moment, I'm looking at employer branding. So you might want to look at how you write your job adverts, which job boards you should be using, how to manage your reviews, and how to improve your branding as well. The way you go about booking this is to go onto our website, which is emerald-starfish.com. My diary is there. You can book straight into a session and we can talk through that. So that's all. So thank you very much for your time today. And I really appreciate it. If you've got any questions, my name's Caroline Hunt of Emerald Starfish. Please feel free to get in touch. Thank you.